Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Dr. Elizabeth Robertson Hornsby, and I'm an assistant professor of strategic communication at Southeastern Louisiana University. Today, I'll be talking about breaking down barriers, advancing open education through the power of AI and OER. And I had one of those moments that you never want to have right before a presentation where you have all of your demonstrations available, and then the technology changes and it completely upends everything that you were going to show. So in case you were not aware, on Monday, I believe, OpenAI, which is the company that gave us all ChatGPT, had a dev conference where they showed some new technology that's coming that sort of shifts how I was going to talk about what I was going to talk about today. So I'm going to keep everything today fairly high level. However, I would love to connect with any of you after the conference if you want to get into specific details, because with the changes that are coming to ChatGPT and particularly GPT-4 and these new tools of transformers, which have been released as of Monday, it kind of shifts the how practical part. But in our brief time, I want to think big about OER and AI using a how might we framework. I want to posit some starting points for translating problems into opportunities. And specifically, I hope to amp up the good and take on an extreme and explore the opposite. I want to challenge you to flip assumptions and focus on what we can do collectively and as individuals. So let's get started. In my talk today, I'll explore the intersection of open educational resources and artificial intelligence to advance accessibility, affordability, and inclusivity in global education. Specifically, I'm going to give an introduction and some framing questions. I'll talk a little bit about benefits, but as well as challenges, and then talk about some practical applications. I'll talk about a project out of the EU H2020 project, and then I'll talk about some specific things I'm doing at my department at my university that incorporates both AI and OER, and then I'll review some takeaways that hopefully will be useful for you once you leave this session. For this presentation, OER will be used to refer to freely available, openly licensed educational materials. AI will refer to computer systems that perform human-like intelligent tasks. And by combining these technologies, we can enhance OER's benefits. AI allows us to improve student success, affordability, and equity by personalized learning, optimizing research, adapting materials, and expanding access. And together, OER and AI can promote open knowledge sharing while enabling customized learning experiences. This powerful integration helps us democratize quality education worldwide, and I am super excited to share how OER and AI can work together to advance education locally and globally. Okay, so some framing questions. As we explore empowering education with AI, we should ask aspirational questions about how to guide this technology to radically advance open education's mission worldwide. I'm very mission-oriented. Whatever innovation technology, whether it be micro-credentials, whether it be social media, whether it just be the internet or digital media at large, I'm always like, how can we align all of this innovation to our role, scope, and mission? Rather than just minimizing risks, what if we harnessed AI's potential to massively increase access, equity, and empowerment through OER? The how might we framework questions are designed to reframe the conversation around AI and OER in an aspirational but human-centered way. Typically, emerging technologies prompt questions like, what are the risks? Or how can we mitigate harm? But how might we questions take a creative approach? The how might we framework comes from design thinking. It pushes us to imagine groundbreaking possibilities beyond just minimizing negative impacts. These questions open up space for audacious and even utopian thinking. They allow us to envision how AI could radically advance OER's mission of equity, access, empowerment, and participatory knowledge creation. How might we also implies collective agency? It says that we have the power to shape technology for human flourishing. This framing is especially important for open communities built on shared missions and values. In short, the how might we questions aim to spark aspirational thinking about AI, and this mindset can guide us to integrate AI in ways that powerfully advance OER's public good mission worldwide. So here are some framing questions. How might we radically increase OER accessibility and inclusion worldwide through innovative applications of AI? So rather than just adapting materials, we could envision AI-powered OER platforms that proactively reach and engage marginalized communities through multimodal and assistive formats, right? We can invent radically accessible interfaces like real-time subtitles and translations and text-to-speech in any language. Another question we could think about is how might we make AI-enhanced OER learning not just cost-effective, but abundant and empowering? So instead of just cost savings, we could enable personalized OER learning coaches for all global citizens. This is not to replace teachers or professors. AI tutors can massively augment human connections and mentorship. How might we build AI that doesn't just avoid bias, but actively fosters equity and justice in OER? Rather than just mitigating harm, we could collectively build AI that amplifies diverse voices and perspectives in OER content and development. It could even monitor OER usage and adaptation to ensure equitable engagement worldwide. And then how might we co-create new models of ethical governance that ensure AI advances OER's mission to openly serve all humanity? Rather than just oversight, right? We could bring together diverse global voices to shape shared priorities for AI and OER. This could provide communities agency in guiding AI to equitably expand access, inclusion, and participatory knowledge creation. We can choose audacious optimism that can open AI governance and can uphold OER's humanistic values. So let's talk about some benefits. Some benefits of AI in OER: automated creation and curation, right? Automation, it's time saving, it's cost effective, it helps you scale faster. AI can generate new OER content and quickly adapt existing materials by automating processes like translation, simplification, summarization, and conversion into multiple formats. Think of, instead of going to ChatGPT and prompting a tool where there is a lack of transparency and we don't know what that data is trained on, what if all of the OER repositories that you use were interconnected and you were able to have that same functionality, but with OERs that have been vetted, that you know what their licensing is? For example, an AI system could take an open textbook and automatically create versions with vocabulary appropriate for different learning levels. And that's one of the things that I've seen with people who are playing around with this update to ChatGPT in the Plus version, is that I literally just saw someone post on X right before I hopped on saying they uploaded a 400-page open textbook and created a personalized tutor that was trained just on that textbook material. And because of the updates to GPT, there was not a whole lot of hallucination, and the responses and the interactions with that bot were extremely helpful. Adaptive and personalized learning. AI enables customization of OER content in real time based on individual student needs and knowledge. Systems can adapt the learning sequence and activities to the learner's level and responses, and personalized OER recommendations can also be driven by AI analysis of interest, background, and goals, right? So now all of the adaptive courseware that for a long time was sort of in the purview of textbook publishers and was super, super expensive, we have the ability to leverage that same technology, but around OER content. Increased accessibility and inclusion. Multilingual OER content, whether humans created or automated, breaks down language barriers to learning. AI narration and transcription can generate audiobooks and translations almost immediately. And adaptive formats and interfaces also increase accessibility for diverse learners. And then the big one, I think that's really important, is improved discoverability. With massive OER repositories, finding relevant materials can be a challenge. So AI optimization of search, tagging, recommendations, and adaptive linking between related OER makes discovery easier. But there are also challenges. There are risks and ethical concerns that arise with any sort of use of technology, specifically with uses of AI. So, bias in data and algorithms. If OER data sets are limited or reflect existing biases, AI risks propagating harmful stereotypes. Algorithms can also encode biased human judgments. So it's really important that ongoing evaluation is occurring to detect unfair outputs or skewed optimizations. Protecting student privacy. Conversations around data and privacy are really important to have when you're talking about AI. AI systems rely heavily on learner data. So precautions are essential to guard information like engagement patterns, knowledge gaps, and demographics. Consent, transparency, and data minimization always should be prioritized when you are working with AI. A lack of diverse voices. So AI OER initiatives must include contributors from marginalized groups and local contexts. Diverse teams will provide better insights in addressing systemic inequalities and avoiding exclusion. And then just the need for accountability, right? It's critical that AI enhanced OER be transparent about data practices, equity evaluations, and decision-making processes. Accountability structures like external audits can help uphold the ethics and inclusivity. So what are some practical applications? So some examples of how AI is already being applied in some AI platforms that I've seen: automated captioning of video OER, machine translation for multilingual access, adaptive learning apps powered by AI, and then of course chatbots to provide OER recommendations or to serve content. I want to talk a little bit about X5 Gone. X5 Gone was a pioneering 3-year project that was funded by the European Union's Horizon 2020 program from 2018 to 2021. And its mission was to explore how AI could radically advance open education globally. It aimed to develop an intelligent platform that delivered personalized OER content to individual learners anywhere in the world, tailored exactly to their needs. This required aggregating OER materials from diverse sources and using AI to curate and recommend content matched to the user. The project utilized machine learning techniques like natural language processing to analyze OER materials, and then researchers developed algorithms to track how content evolved over time and predict learner engagement. So the more that learners engaged with it, the smarter it got. And the goal was to optimize educational experiences through dynamic recommendations and adaptations, again, all based on OER content. Equally important, X5 Gone wanted to catalyze a vibrant ecosystem of shared OER content worldwide. They envisioned AI uncovering tacit knowledge within universities to generate new shareable resources at scale. This abundance of multilingual OER could then circulate openly across borders. The other thing that X5 Gone did, it pioneered ethical approaches to data sharing, collaborating closely with partner organizations. They proposed a pact to mutually empower all stakeholders through transparent and accountable AI. And partners contribute usage data while benefiting from enhanced discoverability, analytics, and personalization. This collaborative model aimed to advance OER's public good mission by connecting fragmented platforms into an inclusive global network. And then they also identified a lightweight, scalable online learner model that could be used to predict learning engagement with OER. X5 Gone is actually still live. You can, and I can share the link later. It's actually a website you can go to. And it proposes a partnership pact for those that want to join to empower all involved OER platforms and stakeholders. They offer AI technologies to enhance content discoverability, recommendations, multilingual features, analytics, and personalization. And they ask partners to contribute content and usage data to share contacts to join the collaboration. And in return, X5 Gone will boost content visibility, enable cross-pollination across sites, and provide impact metrics, and everything is transparent. The ultimate goal is to create an inclusive global OER network bound by ethics, privacy, and accountability to the partner community. There's an application where you can register your repositories to connect them to the network ecosystem. And this collaborative model really allows diverse OER platforms to benefit from shared AI capabilities, advancing open education overall. A product of the X5 Gone family is X5 Learn. And the X5 Learn platform leverages AI to power personalized recommendations across open educational resources in different languages. It's a cross-lingual engine that connects relevant content from diverse sources to match individual users' needs and interests. And for OER publishers, X5 Learn increases visibility and drives new users to their materials by recommending relevant pages based on custom interactions. The intelligent recommendations engine boosts overall engagement and consumption of OER content. X5 Learn integrates millions of OER materials in one unified platform. And then the AI algorithms analyze materials and interaction patterns to automatically suggest the most useful content for each learner. This creates a personalized OER learning environment that transcends language and cultural barriers. By harnessing AI to connect and recommend materials, X5 Learn helps publishers expand their reach while assisting users in discovering the OER most relevant to their goals. And the platform ultimately aims to enhance open knowledge sharing and educational equity worldwide. So I have been fascinated by X5 Gone and X5 Learn, and I was like, how can I incorporate that into what I do in my department and on my campus and with the program that I'm in charge of? So I am the graduate coordinator for a Master of Arts in Strategic Communication. It is a 100% online asynchronous course. We do not have pre-existing undergraduate requirements, which means we take as long as you have an undergraduate degree, it does not have to be in communication. And we are an industry agnostic program, which means we are not training you or skilling you or helping you learn to be professional in a specific industry or sector. The content that we teach is universal because communication happens everywhere. And so I have been super fascinated. I deeply believe in open pedagogy. I deeply believe in OER. And so I went to my department chair and said, I would like for us to be a zero textbook cost program. The cost of graduate school is already super, super expensive. And if we can sort of reduce that cost, then we might be able to open up our program to more people because it becomes more affordable. And one of the ways to do that, obviously, is to take advantage of open educational resources. And then I just got super invested in AI. I am not a computer scientist. I just really love innovation, and I really love innovation that has the opportunity to bridge gaps. And so I like to be on the forefront of that because there are always forces at work that will use technology to divide. But I think that as educators, we have the opportunity to use technology to connect us meaningfully. So our program envisions a future where AI transforms open education into a force for inclusion and empowerment. And to achieve this vision, we had some key questions that we wanted to address that guide our journey. The first is around innovating OER and accessibility. One of our key goals was to increase OER accessibility through innovative AI applications. For instance, we are working to create virtual teaching assistants equipped with personalized learning support features like captions, translations, and text-to-speech that will help eliminate barriers for all our learners. Because we have such a diverse population coming into us and they have different starting levels, it is a lot to put on one professor to be able to accommodate all those needs. So how can we leverage technology to do that? The next step in our vision is to make AI-enhanced OER not just cost-effective, but abundantly empowering. So we are working to create customized courses that are dynamically generated for each learner from a vast network of global OER repositories. And this approach will offer flexible pathways tailored to individual interests and needs. Inclusivity and equity are at the heart of our mission. So within our community, we want to leverage all the voices that are there to help collaborate and create solutions like multilingual AI tutors, providing equitable support specifically in writing and organizing for non-native speakers and for speakers with different accessibility issues. And then finally, ethical governance of AI is very crucial. Ethics is at the heart of what we do. So we are committed to collaborating to shape AI that reflects our shared values and setting new standards for responsible innovation in education. So making sure that we have the ethics conversation at every stage of this journey. We believe that this multifaceted approach will help expand the transformativeness of open education. We plan to use natural language processing and machine learning to draw from abundant OER worldwide, converting static content into dynamic adaptive learning experiences. And as a result, learners will have access to flexible pathways uniquely tailored to their needs and interests. As I said before, we are working to create AI teaching assistants. We are looking at how we can extend our commitment to accessibility by using translation plugins, automated transcription, and also using AI to assess course materials and learning objectives to recommend adaptations to tailor to each learner. In terms of real-world applications to put theory into practice and align with open pedagogy principles, our program plans to partner with nonprofits and local businesses for our strategic communication capstone that all students will have to do. And leveraging AI, our students will develop tailored communication plans, content and campaigns. And this hands-on experience not only enriches their education, but expands public access. And then we will require them to author open case studies that then will go back into our OER repositories. So this knowledge of leveraging AI in their class isn't locked behind an article, behind a paywall, or in a textbook that's going to cost money. Instead of having them write papers that no one reads, we're going to encourage them to author their own OER content and have a repository of case studies that actually use AI. And so I want to finish because I want to give time for questions. So what are some key takeaways? AI can enhance education by automation, content creation, personalized learning. You've heard it, but the keywords for me are accessibility, affordability, and inclusivity. And that is so much in line with the principles of open pedagogy. Obviously, we always have to think about ethical considerations. That has to stay at the forefront. We always have to think about practical applications, practical in terms of what you and your institution and your program have the capacity to do, both at the individual level. So if it's just you uploading an open textbook and creating personalized AI resources for your students, or if we think more expansively, like the X5GOM project, where we can connect and leverage OER repositories, that's a way. But ultimately, this is a dynamic emerging field, right? And continued exploration and innovation will shape the future of open education powered by AI. So I hope in this time that I've sort of got your brains thinking about all the ways that AI and OER can integrate. And I'm happy to use the last couple of minutes to answer questions and talk more deeply on anything that I said. So thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's see. Gonna go to the chat. Yes, I did pack a lot into this. Yes, I will make the slides available. I believe that I can upload them into Open Extract, and I'm going to add some information with the with everything that just happened with OpenAI literally Monday. I mean, like I had it was going in a whole different direction, and then if you have a chance to read OpenAI's blog about, they're calling them transformers or GPT, so generative pre-trained transformers, but you have the ability to essentially train your own AI. And I think that has a lot of really interesting implication for open education and OER content. I'm trying to see the questions. I'm scrolling through. Let's see. Is it necessary to have AI based on what if? I don't think anything is necessary. I always caveat with, you have to do what feels authentic to your class or your program or whatever your domain of influence is. And my North Star is always what's in line with our role, scope, and mission. And I always align that. I always start at the top alignment and go down. So I'm in a university system, and we have core competencies that we say that all of our students will have achieved by the time they graduate, no matter what institution they graduate from. So I always start with, and what I'm doing aligned to the core competencies of my system. And then I go to, is what I'm doing aligned with our institutional strategic priorities. And then I go to, and what I'm doing aligned with my department, and then with my discipline, and then with my program, and then with my class. And if my objectives can align all the way up in my learning activities, as you can tell, I'm in online learning, all this alignment talk, then I move forward. If there's not alignment there, then maybe it's not a space I need to play in. And this is not a space that everyone needs to play in, but I do think there is something that we can talk about what's connection. So we're out of time, but I'm happy to hang around for a few minutes after the recording stops to continue to answer questions in the chat if you would like that. So thank you all for attending. I deeply appreciate your time and listening to me chatter on.
I have a question.
Absolutely.